Starting off this countdown, we have Bloody Mary. I wish I was talking about the cocktail here, but I'm not. Now, I feel like most of you have heard of this game. It was super popular when I was a kid, and I played it lots, so I'm surprised I'm not cursed. Anyways, there are a number of different ways to play the game, but the most common one is to go into a dark bathroom, look into the mirror, and chant Bloody Mary 3 times. Some say you must surround yourself by candles. Others claim you have to spin around while saying her name. Or you have to say, Bloody Mary, I believe in you. This supposedly summons Bloody Mary, and if it works, she will reach out of the mirror and scratch you, or grab you and pull you back into the mirror with her. Apparently, Bloody Mary is described as a rotting, skeleton-looking woman, with long, sharp nails, rotting flesh, and matted, dirty, and bloody hair. Some say she's eyeless. Others say she wears the eyes of her past victims. Either way, not a game I ever want to play again. In our 9th spot, we have the Devil's Face. This is the game for you if you have ever wanted to see what the devil looks like. Basically, it's simple. Go to your bathroom at night right before midnight. Stand in front of the dark mirror and close your eyes. When the clock strikes midnight, open your eyes and stare into the mirror. You should see the devil staring right back at you. Yeah! Like, get it? Like you're the devil? In our 8th spot, we have Charlie Charlie. This game seems simple enough. Get a piece of paper, draw a grid on it so that there are 4 different sections, and write yes and no in the boxes. Then take 2 pencils and balance one on top of the other. Start the game by saying, Charlie Charlie, are you here? If he is, the pencils will move and it should point to yes. Then you can start to ask him yes or no questions. Now, who exactly is this Charlie boy? Well, it ain't Charlie Brown, that's for sure. Now, there are a number of versions. One claims he's a demon from Mexico. Others say he's the ghost of someone who took their own life, or the ghost of someone that died in a tragic accident. Either way, I'm not trying to contact nobody from the afterlife. No, thank you. Especially because Charlie has sinister intentions. Now guys, before I go any further, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. You know the drill, because it really helps us out. Moving on to number 7, we have the Closet Game. This game, if done correctly, will summon a demon into your own home. Again, why is this considered a game? What's scary is that this game is fairly easy. Yeah, it's easy to summon demons. Great. Anyways, all you have to do is stand in your closet in the night with an unlit match. Then out loud you have to say, oh, I don't even want to say it. Show me the light or leave me in the darkness. Once you hear a faint whisper, light up the match. Oh, I'm getting shivers. Ugh. If you don't, you will be dragged off into the darkness. If you light it in time, you're safe from this demon. But now, you've invited it to live in your closet. And you always have to shut the closet door every night before bed. And you can never look inside the closet without a light on. Moving on to number 6, we have the Elevator Game. I think this one has to be one of the scariest games on this list. And I don't know why it's considered a game. Like, it's not fun, and it can cause death or possession. The Elevator Game is said to be one of the world's most dangerous games. Now, there are a bunch of rules you have to follow. When done correctly, you can visit another world. Basically, you have to be in an elevator that has at least 10 floors. When you're in the elevator, you have to press the floor buttons in a specific order. I ain't telling you because you guys aren't playing this game. After doing so, you press the 5th floor and a woman will enter the elevator with you. This woman is not alive, and it is deadly if you look or talk to her. Then you're supposed to go to the 10th floor, which will bring you to another dimension. The other world is identical to ours, but with slight differences. Like maybe the lights will be off and electronics won't work. And you can encounter ghosts. Now there are reports of people who have played this game. Some have said that they ended up looking at this woman and now she haunts them. Others claim that some sort of entity has followed them home. Seriously, do not try this game whatever you do. You might get trapped in another world and not be able to get back. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the 3 Kings. For this game, you need a large empty room without windows, candles, a bucket of water, and a mug, a fan, 2 large mirrors, 3 chairs, an alarm clock, and a bunch of other stuff. Now, the steps for this to work are pretty elaborate. To play this game, you need to set up the mirrors facing each other with a chair in the middle. The chair is your throne. You're the king. The other chairs are the Queen and the Fool. The game starts at 3:30 a.m. You gotta sit in the chair with the lit candles and stare into the darkness. Basically, if you follow all the steps, you will transport your consciousness from this dimension into another. Some have said that they have seen other versions of themselves. Others have said they have gotten answers to their burning questions. Again, if done wrong, this could go very badly. In our fourth spot, we have one man hide and seek. Ever want to play hide and seek by yourself? No. Just no. This game is said to summon the dead. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Basically, for this game, you call upon a spirit and present it with a doll that it can possess. And then you play hide and seek with this possessed doll. First off, you need to empty the doll of its stuffing and replace it with rice and one of your fingernails or a strand of hair. Then you sew the doll back up. Then you place the doll in a tub filled with water and turn the lights off. You then fill your mouth with some salt water and then go back to the bathtub. The doll should be gone. Now, have fun playing hide and seek. You need to find her while still keeping that salty water in your mouth. Oh, and you have to find the doll in the dark. Complete darkness. The game ends once you have found the doll and poured the salt water from your mouth on it. Once the doll is dry, you need to burn the doll. People have reported that the game can go on for a very long time. This demon doll likes to play tricks with you. In our third spot, we have Sarah Sarita. This game is kind of close to that whole Charlie Charlie game. Apparently, with this game, you can contact the ghosts of two sisters that passed away in Mexico. Others believe that the girls are demons from hell. Rumor has it that a number of people have been placed in mental institutions after playing this game. So, maybe don't try it. But if you do, you'll need a friend to do it with you. Sit facing each other and you both have to hold a coin in your hand. Then chant together, Sarah Sarita, may we join your game. Then toss your coin. If you both get heads, it's a yes, you can join the game. If the coins land on tails, it means no, you can't join the game. If you get different sides, it means maybe, and you gotta ask again. Now, if you ask again and it tells you no, you can't play the game again, then apologize and leave the game. Now, if you did get a yes, then you are in the game and you can ask them any yes or no questions. Now, in order to leave the game, you have to say, Sarah Sarita, can I leave your game? Then you flip the coin. If you get a no, you need to keep playing until they say yes. But a lot of people have said that it's a difficult game to get out of. And if you don't end the game properly, then it could end very badly for you. And at number 2, we have Concentrate. And it's not that game, Concentration. 64. You know, what was it? I don't even remember. Anyway, I'm just wondering who came up with these games because they are truly messed up. This game apparently shows you the way you're going to die. So to play this game, you need 2 people. It starts with one person closing their eyes. The other person stands behind them and says this very creepy chant. During the chorus of this chant, the chanter will pound on the person's back with their fists. The chant itself is fairly long and creepy, so you won't catch me saying it. But when the chant is done, the chanter has to push the person forward just a little bit so they lose their balance. Then they open their eyes, and whatever color they see is the way that they're going to die. Like, blue means you're gonna drown, yellow means you'll be poisoned, orange means you'll die in a fire, brown means you'll get buried alive, so on and so on. Yeah, I'll pass. And in our number 1 spot, we have the Midnight Man. For this game, you are literally welcoming this terrifying creature known as the Midnight Man into your home. So in order to play, you need a candle, matches, salt, paper, a pen, a wooden door, and a drop of your own blood. First off, write your name on the paper with the pen and prick yourself and put your drop of blood on the paper. Then place this paper in front of the wooden door. Turn off all your lights and then light your candle. Once it's 11:59 at night, put your candle down and knock on the door 22 times. The 22nd knock must be completed when the clock strikes midnight. Then open the door, blow out your candle, and close your door. Then immediately relight your candle. You have now welcomed the Midnight Man into your home. Now you have to move through your house without getting caught by him. You have to do this until 3:33 a.m. If you stay in one place longer than a few seconds, he'll catch you. If your candle goes out and you're unable to relight it within about 15 seconds, stop what you're doing, draw a circle of salt around you, and don't move until 3:33 a.m. Now, you can't leave your house until the game has ended, and you can't turn on any lights. Not following these sets of rules can end very badly for you. Now, you can't see this man. But if he's near you, you'll feel a sense of panic and dread. You'll start to hear voices and hallucinate. Some say if he catches you, he will haunt you for the rest of your life. Others say he'll rip out your organs. So, pick one. Haunt for your rest of your life or lose your organs.
Coming in at number 10, we have One Man Hide and Seek. In Japan, this game is known as Hitoru Kakurenbo. I might have said that wrong. Let me tell you though, your stuffed toy will never be the same again. So, what you need here is a stuffed animal, but it has to have arms and legs, so think bear rather than crocodile. Also, it has to have a name. For example, Ted the Dread. Basically, you cut Ted the Dread open, remove his stuffing, replace it with rice, and then some fingernail clippings. Creepy. You then sew the bear back up, wrap it, thread it, do all of that kind of stuff, put it back together. You then put this stuffed toy in the bath and say, for the first game, I'm it. You then count to 10 with your eyes closed, then you're supposed to stab the toy and say I won. Sounds very dramatic. You then announce to the toy that it is gonna be it, and then you have to go and hide. For some reason it's important that you hide with a glass of salt water, and if you feel scared, put some of that in your mouth. When the game is over and the toy hasn't found you in an hour, fingers crossed, you go back, spit the salt water on the toy and burn it. Bye Ted! Honestly, it all sounds like a lot of hassle to me. Ah yes, at number 9 we have a classic, it's the Ouija board. Tale as old as time, right? Do you guys even need me to explain this one? Can we just move on to number 8? No? I have to say the words? Okay then. An Ouija board is a board with printed letters, numbers and signs, plus the words yes, no, good and bye. It is used to summon spirits and communicate with them. Famously, bad spirits have indeed been summoned. Interestingly, you can actually buy an Ouija board in a lot of mainstream game shops. Why buy one when you could make one yourself? Coming into number 8 we have Charlie Charlie. Charlie Charlie is a game, I guess, a bit like the Ouija board, but it's way more DIY. A person balances pencils on top of one another with no and yes written in squares. Charlie Charlie can't be used to summon any demon though. It seems that the infamous Charlie is the only one that will appear. And again, I'm not sure you want to meet him. Players of the game say something like, Charlie Charlie are you here? And then the pencil moves and teenagers freak out on YouTube. That's the trend. So why do the pencils move? Clearly because a demon has been summoned, not because of friction and gravity. Demon. Coming in at number 7 we have the Living Doll. Do you know what? I really don't like a creepy doll. I don't. In fact, I feel like you shouldn't have dolls over the age of 10. Just get rid of them because they'll probably haunt you. They pop up everywhere and they're always causing paranormal havoc. Get those dolls out. So Living Doll is like a cocktail of paranormal game fusion. It's got a lot of scary game tropes. Candlesticks, mirrors, hiding, a doll. So here you are supposed to put a doll and a candle between two mirrors and say a little incantation. You then blow out the flame and wait for the doll to come and find you. If it finds you, then bad news bears. You're supposed to hide for around an hour and try not to get found. If you remain unfound, then good. Congratulations, you survive. You then return to the doll, which may have moved, pour salt on it and put it in a cupboard overnight. That ought to do it. Coming into number 6 we have Midnight Man. Midnight Man is a modern rehashing of an old pagan ritual and is essentially a game to summon a spirit. I feel like all of these games summon spirits, you know. To play, you write your name on a piece of paper. You have to prick your finger and produce a small drop of blood and put it on the paper. You then light a candle and then you tape the paper with your name on it to a wooden door. It has to be wooden, apparently, so. Timing is very important here. You have to then knock on the door 22 times, with the last knock coming exactly at the stroke of midnight. You then open the door, blow out the candle, close the door, relight the candle. To me, it's all a big faff. This apparently means that the Midnight Man is now in your house. Your job is to avoid being caught by the Midnight Man, who will try and scare you until 3:33 AM. No more, no less. Honestly, I'd much rather just be in bed having a good sleep. It sounds like way too much aggro. Whatever you do, don't say his name 5 times unless you want to play the game, in which case, go ahead. That's right guys, at number 5 we have Candyman. Candyman, Candyman, Candyman. Actually, do you know what? I think I'll stop there. The Candyman is allegedly a murder victim with a hook for a hand, like Captain Hook, one of my favourite characters ever. He's mean. If you say Candyman's name 5 times, then you will summon him. The only issue, aside from summoning a demon, is, you know, he's angry. He probably wants you to die. There is a movie made about it. Have you seen it? me know. Coming into number 4, we have the Devil's Dog. Yet another summoning game, although this one doesn't require a mirror. Shocker. If calling forth the Hounds of Hell is high up on your to-do list, then you'll be pleased to know it's actually pretty easy. All you have to do is close your eyes, although allegedly the game works best in a group of 4 with one person in the middle. Alone or together, you close your eyes and hunch into a little ball and say, Devil's Dog, Devil's Dog, Satan bring me Devil's Dog, over and over again until you feel scratch marks on your back. You'll likely even see them. This way you'll know that you've been marked by the Hellhounds. Apparently they'll provide you with protection, but you'll also be cursed, so, you know, again, tea and Catan? Anyone? Coming into number 3, we have Mirror Tunnels. Mirror Tunnels is a classic parallel universe game. For this one, you're supposed to set up 2 very big mirrors facing one another, and then you physically stand in the middle. You stand looking in the mirror and count how many frames you can see over your shoulder in your reflection, like mirror after mirror after mirror after mirror, kind of like that bit in Black Swan. It's actually honestly probably enough to send you mad. So you were supposed to look out for movement in the frames. You should be standing still, but one of your reflections might move in another dimension. Honestly, to me it's all a bit mind-bending, but basically, so it goes. One version of you in a different dimension may bring something bad to your current dimension. Do you know what? I've gone cross-eyed, I feel like we need to move on. It's too much. Although I will say, in every world in which you exist, are you always going to be good? Honestly, probably better just to leave this one alone. Okay, this is another scary game that comes from Japan, and to me that makes it a little bit scarier. We have the bath game. Also known as Daruma-san, the bath game involves summoning a grotesque ghost, and then you gotta stop it from catching you. Again, I'm sensing a theme here. This is like very normal for paranormal games, right? Honestly, summoning a demon in the bath isn't my kind of party. I'd rather have a candle and a glass of wine and a good book, but whatever floats your boat. It seems that this game involves taking a bath at night in the dark and sitting facing the taps. You're supposed to wash your hair and then repeat the words, Daruma-san fell down, over and over again. You've got to keep your eyes shut, but you'll feel a presence in the bath with you. When you feel the presence, you should ask, why did you fall in the bath? When you feel like the presence finally leaves you, you've got to get out of the bath, but leave the water where it is, don't drain it. The next morning is when the game begins. The ghost of Daruma will follow you. She'll get closer as the day goes on, but you cannot let her catch you. When you see her over your shoulder, you must shout, Kita, which means I cut you loose, and then perform a karate chop. Kita! I mean, that sounds fun, but honestly, the whole thing sounds pretty pointless. Why spend a day escaping a demon when you could just, you know, be having a good day? Pray for devils have no reason. Satan waits to curse your ways. Have you seen it in his eyes in the sunset? Have you wonder if he's laughing when he plays? That's right, coming into number 1 we have the Devil's Game. Great! So I found that terrifying description on a game listed on creepypasta.com, and it seems that the game has a 9.1 out of 10 rating from over 5,000 votes, so it must be scary. The game allegedly allows you to speak with the devil, and if you do it right, I quote, there's a fair chance you'll walk away scot-free. Good. The purpose of the game is not to make a deal with the devil, but just to ask him things. What type of things? Well, the post reads that he could very well be able to predict the winning numbers of tomorrow's Powerball, for example, or tell you what deadly undiagnosed condition might be afflicting one of your loved ones. How do you play? Well, the creepypasta says that the demon can be summoned at a church at midnight, but it works even better on a new moon, full moon, Friday the 13th, Halloween, etc. You will, you guessed it, need salt, 7 white or red candles, some matches, red string, a mirror. You cannot bring any electronic devices into the room, as apparently that is not something that the devil is okay with. Apparently all you have to do is light the candles and stare into the mirror and will the devil to come. When he appears, one is supposed to challenge him to a game of question and response. The best way to get a truthful answer from him, according to the creepypasta, is to accept a dare from him. Now I don't know about you, but I will not be doing any dares set to me by the devil. Coming in at number 10, we have Charlie Charlie. So the Charlie Charlie challenge is adapted from a Spanish paper and pencil game called Jungo de la Persia, the pencil game. I probably murdered that Spanish. Basically, the premise of the game is to balance pencils on top of one another with no and yes written in the squares. Teenagers then call upon an alleged Mexican demon called Charlie. Players of the game say something like, Charlie Charlie, are you here? The pencil then moves and people freak out. Why do the pencils move? Clearly because a demon has been summoned, not because of friction and gravity. There are a lot of videos of people playing the Charlie Charlie game, and it almost always ends with screaming and running. Many YouTubers find themselves doing the challenge, and they've garnered millions of views. Is it real? Well, according to Mexican historians, there is no demon called Charlie. But I don't know, any game that encourages summoning a demon makes me feel pretty sketchy. Coming in at number 9, we have Sad Satan. Sad Satan is allegedly a cursed video game found on the dark web. YouTube channel Obscure Horror Corner lived up to their name when they shared a scary screenplay of the game on their YouTube channel, and honestly, it looks really intense. To be honest, it also sounds pretty intense, and I don't like that. The player is walking down a dark alley and horrible radio signals start coming through. During the gameplay, from time to time, a blank screen would appear with strange markings. Reddit users decoded the font and said that it was saying things like kill, 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 and I can track you. Finally, at the end of the game, it cuts to a black screen in which the phrase suffering doesn't end appears. Great! So basically, this doesn't sound too good to me. I'll probably give playing this one a solid miss. Coming in at number 8, we have the Three Kings. I first heard about the Three Kings when I investigated the No Sleep subreddit, and apparently it is actually a very popular game these days. To be honest, popular or not, I don't like the sound of it. No, no, no. What you need to play the game is a large room, preferably a basement with no light source. You're supposed to set up this space with 2 full-length mirrors, 3 chairs, and an item from your childhood. Once you're done with the setup, you're supposed to go to bed and set your alarm for 3:30 AM. At exactly 3:30, you're supposed to then get up. Now, you can only play if when you go back to the large room you prepared, nothing has changed. If anything has moved or changed, this is a warning not to play that evening. You must sit in one of the 3 chairs at exactly 3:33 AM with a candle lit. Once seated, you've got to look straight ahead into the darkness and never look into the mirrors or the candle. At this point, you should see or hear a presence. Some people say that you'll begin to have a conversation with a king, a queen, or a fool. It's complicated, but apparently when playing this game, it is possible to get stuck in an alternate dimension. Because sure. Coming into number 7, we have Midnight Man. According to a creepypasta I read, the Midnight Man game dates back to an old pagan ritual and essentially is a game to summon a spirit. The game is played by a person writing their name on a piece of paper, pricking their finger to produce a small drop of blood on the paper, lighting a candle and taping the paper with your name on it to a wooden door. Now, the door has to be wooden. Timing is important in this game. You have to knock on the door 22 times with the last knock coming at the stroke of midnight. The person then opens the door, blows out the candle, closes the door and relights the candle quickly. This apparently means that the Midnight Man is now in your house. Your job is to then avoid being caught by the Midnight Man, who will scare you until 3:33 AM. Sounds like all of the fun I'd rather not be having. Coming in at number 6, we have Polybius. Polybius is a legendary arcade game, and nobody knows if stories about it are true or simply the stuff of gaming urban legend. The story seems to have emerged in the year 2000 in Portland, Oregon, and suggests some kind of government conspiracy. Basically, the story goes that a black box arcade game started showing up in arcades across the city. Now, the game didn't have any branding, it was simply black and mysterious, but people were intrigued and played it anyway. The game seemed to involve geometric patterns and eye-wateringly bright, colourful shapes. It seemed like the game was hypnotizing people, making them sick, or in some cases, even making them disappear. After gamers played, men in black suits were seen servicing the machine, which led to rumours that it was part of the CIA's MK Ultra mind control pursuits. Storytellers named the game Polybius after a Greek historian who said that you should never report what you can't verify. Whether or not the story is true, it has become part of pop culture, with The Simpsons placing a Polybius machine in the background of a scene in 2006. Would you guys play it? Let me know. Coming in at number 5, we have Pokemon's Lavender Town. Pokemon has a lot of wildly popular games, but did you know that part of Pokemon Red and Green might be cursed? The music that plays in Lavender Town in the game not only matches the weirdly trippy purple graphics, but allegedly sparked an alarming number of child suicides in Japan. The music is undoubtedly spooky. Horror blog Bloody Disgusting hailed it as one of the most terrifying childhood memories for gamers. In terms of the music, the chords boards are very, very jarring, but I have to say, it is weirdly calm. Whatever is going on, like even if it's cursed or not, I don't really want to listen to that music for very long. It kind of gets inside your brain. According to a creepypasta that surfaced in 2010, the music compelled over 100 Japanese children to kill themselves, leaving others with weird behavioral outbursts. Others suffered simple things like nosebleeds and headaches. Either way, I don't like it. This whole phenomenon became known as Lavender Town Syndrome. So the legend may have some scientific truth. Apparently the high-pitched binaural beats tapped into the brains of children in a way that could affect their moods. It seems that Pokemon themselves were even worried. They've re-recorded the music for the 2017 Pokemon Go Halloween special, so maybe Pokemon bosses were trying to lift the curse, or maybe they fancied something new. I love a good board game, but you would not catch me playing with an Ouija board anytime soon. Now that's coming in at number 4. Ouija boards are totally messed up. I'm sure you know what they are, but for those of you that don't, it's a board with letters of the alphabet on it, as well as yes and no in the top corners, numbers, the words goodbye, and assorted symbols and graphics surrounding the board. Now the board is used to communicate with spirits, although it originated as an American parlor game. Some spiritual believers will tell you that playing with an Ouija board to contact the dead can lead to demonic possessions, which doesn't sound ideal. Ooh, maybe we should do the top 10 scary Ouija board stories. I'm so down for that. Coming into number 3, we have a classic game. We've got Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary is a quintessential game from our childhoods, but that doesn't mean I'd recommend playing it ever. Is it kids just freaking each other out, or is it a cursed game? Bloody Mary is said to appear in a mirror when her name is chanted. Now back in old folklore, the ritual was used to show a woman a glimpse of their future husband's face, although if they saw the Grim Reaper instead of their husband, it would mean that they would likely die before they got the chance to marry. In modern times, the legend goes that if you summon Bloody Mary, she will scratch out your eyes, steal your soul, drink your blood, or at the very least scream at you. There is a similar game legend called Hanako-san in Japan. Speaking of Japan, next up you should never play Hitori Kakurunbo. This is coming in at number 2, and this is basically a Japanese hide and seek game, but you play it alone, or alone with a spirit. So what you need to play this game is a stuffed animal with arms and legs. It has to have a name, for example, Twinkle. Sadly, you cut Twinkle open, removing all of the stuffing and replacing it with rice and some fingernail clippings. Yum. You then sew up Twinkle back again, wrapping the leftover thread around the toy's body. You then put the stuffed toy in the bath and say, for the first game, I am going to be it. Then you close your eyes, count to 10, then you're supposed to stab the toy and say I won. Still with me? You then announce that the toy is going to be it next, and you go and hide. For some reason, it's very important that you hide with a glass of salt water, and if you feel scared, you have to put some of that salt water in your mouth. When the game is over and the toy hasn't found you in an hour or over, you go back, spit the salt water on the toy, and burn it. Sounds like a lot of hassle to me, and to be honest, I'd rather play Catan. Finally, coming into number 1, I would never ever recommend going anywhere near this game. We have Blue Whale. Blue Whale is an awful social media game that seemed to originate in 2016 and encourages players to induce self-harm and later commit suicide, which horrendous. This so-called game takes place over 50 days, with each day a new challenge. The game was linked to 130 teenage deaths in Russia alone, with one girl, 15-year-old Yulia Konstantinov, posting a picture of a blue whale on her Instagram before jumping to her death. This spate of deaths were not just in Russia alone. Countries across the world have reported deaths of young ones as a result of this sick game. So guys, that was the top 10 cursed games you should never play. Have any of you ever played one of these games? I certainly hope not. Please don't, ever. Stick to what you love, like chess or The Sims or even Fortnite if that's your jam. Games without demons.